Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Narito kayo sa Damanghas Interviews. Ang atin pong pag-uusapan, ang gulo, ang bangayan sa West Philippine Sea. At mapalad tayong makasama ngayon si Undersecretary at Assistant Director General ng National Security Council, si Mr. Jonathan Malaya. Good afternoon, sir.
Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat at magandang hapon Ma'am Malu and to your team. I'm honored to be here. Thank you for having me.
Okay, for background lang, siya po ay dating nagle-lecture sa UP National College of Public Ad at naging kawani, Undersecretary, Director General, staff ng 10 ahensya ng gobyerno. 25 taon sa serbisyo, ang kanyang kapatid ay ambassador, si Ed Malaya, at ang kanya pong tatay ay dating Regional Trial Court Judge. Medyo may pedigree sa politika, public policy, local government, regional governance. Director Jonathan, ano ba talaga ang status? Atras abante ba tayo sa West Philippine Sea? Ito ba ay bangayan lang o baka mapunta sa military engagement?
Well, unang-una po, hindi po pwedeng sabihin atras abante tayo under this administration. No? Siguro, some people are saying na bakit nag-iiba-iba yung ating polisiya because of the way our democracy works. Kung babasahin po natin ang ating saligang batas, maliwanag dyan that the principal architect of Philippine foreign policy is the president. It just so happened in the previous administration, iba po yung kanyang foreign policy. But under this current administration, ang Pangulong Bongbong Marcos, maliwanag na maliwanag po yung ating polisiya. Number one, we will not sacrifice or lose any inch of our territory, wherever it may be, whether it's in the West Philippine Sea or other parts of the Philippines. Pangalawa, we are a friend to all and enemy to none. Therefore, we do not consider any of the claimant states to be our enemies. And we have strong bilateral mechanisms in dealing with other problems. Having said that, maliwanag po na the policy now is to push back. Okay? So, it's to push back because we are pursuing our national interest. No? Maliwanag na maliwanag po yan na medyo nadidihado ang ating bansa sa nangyayaring bullying, aggressive tactics, provocative actions na ginagawa sa ating mga Philippine vessels as they do their RORE missions or when our vessels visit Scarborough Shoal or Bajo de Masinloc and in other parts of the West Philippine Sea kung saan may swarming and alleged environmental degradation na nangyayari. So in response to all of this, nagpo-push back po ang ating pamahalaan.
Okay, pero Yusek, Jonathan, bilangin na po natin, 56 diplomatic protests and note verbal. Ngayong taon pa lang ho, ilan na ho bang insidente? Parang tila every other week merong water cannon incident, merong nilalayag-layag ang mga Chinese naval patrol ships at tayo din naman talagang sumusungod sa panganib. Ilan na hong insidente at ilan ng protest reports, protest note verbal?
Well, wala po akong figures right now. Ang DFA po meron and dinalabas naman nila yung datos na yan. But siguro po, ilalabas ko lang, Ma'am Malu, is a different lens. A different perspective to, for example, Ayungin Shoal, pag-usapan lang po natin yung Ayungin Shoal, is the fact na hindi po tayo matinag-tinag, hindi maalis-alis ang BRP Sierra Madre, and hindi na po yan matatanggal. So in fact, if we look at it through that lens, kung titingnan natin sa ibang perspektibo, tayo po ang panalo. Because Ayungin Shoal is under our effective occupation. At meron po tayong mga tropa doon. Ma'am Malu, perhaps karamihan sa ating mga kababayan ay frustrated because of what the bullying that's happening. Pero I am sure, in Beijing right now, yung mga decision makers doon are also scratching their heads. Because despite their superpower status and their emerging global hegemon, hindi nila alam anong gagawin nila sa atin. They are spending millions deploying all of these Coast Guard vessels. 38 vessels halo-halo in the last RORE. Planned Navy, Chinese Maritime Militia, Chinese Coast Guard vessels. Hindi lang yan sa Ayungin Shoal, meron pang ibang lugar. They are spending a lot. And yet, hindi matinag-tinagan ating bansa. So sana po yung perspektibong yan ay mangibabaw din sa diskurso sa ating bansa.
Okay, so ibig sabihin, we're standing our ground. Ibig sabihin, hindi tayo natitinag sa ngayon. Pero ang China, iba't ibang teknik na at tila marami, ano, yung pong dinideploy nila ngayon. Pero tayo din ho, nag-import ng mga kakampi. Andun yung US, andun yung Australia, andun yung Japan. Ano ibig sabihin nito? Are we preparing for a multinational engagement sa panig natin against China?
Insofar as Ayungin Shoal is concerned, ang atin pong mga adjustments are primarily domestic in nature, meaning it's decisions made done by the Philippine government for Philippine vessels and for Philippine operations. No, wala po tayong sinasabing foreign help na natatanggap. Ito pong huling RORE mission natin sa Ayungin Shoal, the decision to add another vessel. Dati po kasi dalawa lang yan. Naging tatlo because of we deployed the 100 almost 100-meter BRP Melchora Aquino. That decision was purely Philippine decision. At naging matagumpay po yung decision na yan dahil nakapasok sa lagoon. Kahit nga media nakapasok eh. So it was a complete success insofar as the mission parameters are concerned. Ano ba yung mission? Maipadala yung mga supplies. In the past, may nangyayari, isa lang ang nakakapasok. This time, nakapasok dalawa. Wala pong foreign support yan. The presence of the Poseidon aircraft, as we have explained in the past, is merely for ISR or for surveillance. No? Inaalam lang ng Estados Unidos kung anong nangyayari kasi nga, merong Mutual Defense Treaty. So sinisiguro lang nila na walang armed attack on a Philippine vessel na nangyayari dyan. And these are international this is, though this may be part of the exclusive economic zone of the Philippines, meron po tayong freedom of overflight and freedom of navigation in that part of the world.
Pero Yusek Jonathan, alam natin na parang sa ngayon is parang tipong merong relative peace, ano po, unsteady peace actually. Pero ano yung calibration nito? What would take on the part of China and on the part of the Philippines, recalibrating it to siguro conflict level 1, 2, 3. Ano ho ba talaga ang scenario sa inyong nasisilip sa NSC? Pwede bang magtuloy-tuloy ito ng talagang direct engagement?
Sa tingin namin po hindi. No? Calculated naman po ang ating mga galaw. Insofar as we are concerned, hanggang 3 muna ang ating dinideploy na mga Coast Guard vessels, only limited to Coast Guard. At yung ating mga resupply vessels ay maliliit lamang. No? In fact, Unay sa May 2 sana yan, pero nasira yung Unay sa May 2 during the last RORE, kaya ginamit natin yung ML Kalayaan. So, sa atin po ay we are keeping it at that level, but yung atin pong tinatawag na Measured Transparency Initiative, hindi po natin yan pinipigilan. In fact, nagsasakay kami ng taga-GMA, nagsasakay kami ng taga-ABS-CBN, nagsasakay kami ng iba't ibang mga media outlets, not only local but international, primarily for purposes of letting the world know of what's happening. So, kung siguro ang tanong, ma'am, is babaguhin ba ng Pilipinas yung kanilang measured transparency policy in fighting the information war? No. We will continue to pursue that. Pero dito po sa on the ground, yan lang po ang galaw natin. So that, to keep it at that and not to bring this conflict to a kinetic level.
Okay. So bringing this conflict to a kinetic level also involves many other countries. Ano po? Marami tayong claimants doon sa lugar na yan. At marami din tayong parang aliado, Western powers na interested. Sa totoo lang, it's China against these Western powers. Tapos sabi nila, ang Pilipinas at ang ibang claimants sa South China Sea, parang mga pawns, kumbaga sa chess, mga panglaro lamang nitong mga superpowers. Ano ang tingin niyo? Are we developing a global conflict here na between China and the US and Western powers, tapos tayo yung sa masamang palad nasa gitna?
Narinig ko na po yan, no? Yan yung naratibo na nanggagaling sa Beijing. Correct. I always hear that all the time, na tayo daw ay puppet ng Amerika, na tayo daw ay masasakripisyo in case there's a war. Ang tawag pa ay cannon fodder, no? Bakit tayo nakihimasok dito sa banggaan ng dalawang bansa? But if you look at the facts, ma'am, maliwanag na maliwanag that the US is not a claimant state in the South China Sea. No, ang claimant state is the Philippines and China and other countries. In fact, when we filed the 2016, when we filed our arbitral claim dun sa Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague in 2013, if I'm not mistaken, it was not against the United States. It was not against any other country. It was against China.
Correct.
So our issue is against China, not with the US. Now, bakit po tayo, siguro ang sunod na tanong, bakit tayo nakikipag-alyansa sa US? We are
Para
doing
provoke ang China.
And by doing so, provoking China.
Correct.
We are doing so because the United States and the Philippines, their interests have aligned, have intersected. Ang interest ng Pilipinas is for our fishermen, the natural resources, including oil perhaps na meron dyan, and the blue economy that could be the game changer for the future generations of Filipinos. Ang interest naman ng Amerika is freedom of navigation, global trade, and all of that. It just so happened nang intersect yung dalawa. And the interest of the United States and the Philippines are directly opposed to the interest of China, which seeks to take control of the entire South China Sea. Now, there will be times that the interest of the US and the Philippines will diverge. No? And we are cognizant of that, di ba? Our history.
Sa ano pong issue? Pwede tayong magtunggali.
Yes, our history has shown us that that's possible. Pero po, sa panahon ngayon, that our interests converge, that doesn't mean we're being a puppet of China. By pushing back against China, we are actually pursuing our national interest. Okay. And secondly, ma'am, the issue of the United States, we have a mutual defense treaty with them. If we will not use that mutual defense treaty, we might as well abrogate it. Hindi naman pala natin mapapakinabangan. Okay.
Pero kung kayo po yung China, parang tila maguguluhan kayo. Dahil nung panahon ni dating Pangulong Duterte, BFF ang Pilipinas at ang China. Ngayong panahon ni President BBM, parang may pivot back to the US. So parang pakipaliwanag nga, hindi ho ba ang Pilipinas din kasi ang gulo-gulo? Mula from one president to the other, merong shifting o parang transferring court.
Well, nangyayari po yan not only in the Philippines but in many other countries. Ang China po ay marami ding issues with other countries. Let me give you one example. Australia, no? Noong kasagsagan ng pandemya, the Australians questioned the source of COVID. Sabi ng Australia, ilabas niyo China ang source ng COVID. At nagalit yung China dyan at nagkaroon ng economic coercion. Yung mga produkto ng Australia gaya ng wine, gaya ng beef were heavily taxed as a form of economic coercion by China. Kaya yung previous Prime Minister had a different approach. Nagkaroon ng eleksyon, nagpalit. Ang nanalo ngayon Labor government. Iba ang kanilang Albanese. Iba rin ang approach niya. In fact, he just came from Beijing a few days ago. Okay? No, but that doesn't mean na papabayaan na yung Pilipinas. Ang ibig ko lang pong sabihin, that is the beauty of democracy. No? Whenever there is a new government that assumes there could be a change in policy. Ang lamang lang ng China is they're controlled by one party, the Communist Party of China. Kaya ang kanilang planning, ang kanilang positions cuts across many years. In fact, sinasabi nga nila, 100 years daw ang planning ng China.
All right. Yusek Jonathan, ang problema natin, you talked about what unites us, and the United States, o yung convergence at the moment. But for a long time, ang dami nating converged concerns with China. China is the biggest source of our imports and the biggest buyer of our exports. Ang daming mga proyekto na China funded or may pangako ang China na pondohan. Meron tayong medyo malaking Filipino-Chinese diaspora o Chinese-Filipino diaspora. And they've been very good as important players sa business at industry. Paano ho yun? Hindi naman natin pwedeng sabihin na goodbye China dahil ang daming sasabit. Utang, grants, at mga proyekto at yung ating balance of trade taling-tali sa China.
Tama po yan. And you make a very good point, ma'am. Precisely because what we need here is a great balancing act. As you yourself pointed out correctly, napakalaki ng ating trade relations with China. And we cannot allow the West Philippine Sea to be the determinant of that relationship. Kumbaga, the conflict in the West Philippine Sea is not the entirety of our relations with China. Meron tayong madaming at mas malalim na relasyon sa ekonomiya. Kaya po, if you will notice, our policy right now is, we're just strengthening the military, no? We're strengthening the military for deterrence to improve, no? Our status as a middle power, no? But we are not but we are not extending that to other spheres, no? We are not marami po kasing nagsasuggest but di natin isama na ang Amerika sa RORE, di ba? But ang dami pong
explain niyo lang mo yung RORE para maintindihan.
Po, ang RORE po is yung rotation and resupply mission. So, since karamihan sa ating mga kababayan ay para sumasama ang loob, bakit binubuli tayo? Bakit tayo nagpapabuli? Alam naman nila na kulang tayo sa kagamitan. Ang Amerika madaming kagamitan. Bakit hindi natin tingnan ng tulong ang US Navy? Ang US Navy magbagsak ng supplies sa Ayungin Shoal.
Okay, all right.
Pero yung question sa tingin namin ay hindi pa napapanahon. Precisely because of what you said. The West Philippine Sea dispute cannot be the totality of the relations between China and the Philippines.
Okay. Pero Yusek, Jonathan, sa totoo lang, we don't have sabi ni Justice Carpio, credible defense posture. At this time, okay, dadagdagan po ng Intelligence Confidential Fund ang Coast Guard. Pero sa totoo lang, yun hong ating mga patrol craft at yung mga vessel natin, nung unang panahon pa at hindi siguro makahahabol kung mga tipong mabilisang pagtugis. Ano ho yung plano doon para daw magkaroon tayo ng credible defense posture? Kasi sa totoo lang, it will all depend on how far we can go to calibrate or to recalibrate or decrease the conflict level.
I would agree that we are not yet there, but we are getting there. No? Hindi po alam ng ating mga kababayan, and I think the armed forces should do a better job communicating this. Ay malaki na po ang in-improve, no? Ang kinaganda ng ating armed forces. In fact, nasa dulo na tayo ng Horizon 2 ay sa AFP modernization at nagre-horizon na tayo for Horizon 3 so that we can implement what is called as a 360-degree archipelagic governance. Ano po ibig sabihin noon? Ang ibig pong sabihin niyan is bawat sulok ng ating bansa, meron tayo nakahandang coastal radar system na may kasamang missile system at may kasamang mga eroplano na pwedeng mag-intercept ng mga papasok sa ating airspace at mga barko na pwedeng mag-responde kung merong violation of Philippine territorial waters.
Okay. Ano po timetable niyan?
Ang timetable po niyan is matatapos na po yung Horizon 2 by next year. And then Horizon 3 will immediately proceed. Pero nakikita na po natin yung mga commitments, for example, of the Japanese Prime Minister when he came to the Philippines is for the delivery of 5, 96 or 97 meter Philippine Coast Guard vessels na pwedeng tumapat sa mga vessels ng China, no?
Okay.
And we continue to work with our neighbors kasi kahit ubusin natin ang national budget in improving the Navy, ang Chinese Navy now is the largest in terms of number of vessels. So you cannot really go toe-to-toe against China. Kaya tama si Justice Carpio na doon lang tayo sa level na credible defense posture. In the sense na pag tayo ay binira ng China, masasaktan sila, no? They would think twice. And we should strengthen our cooperation now not only with the US but also with like-minded countries such as Australia, Japan, South Korea kasi the more allies we have, the better our credible defense posture is.
Yanong Horizon 3 at Horizon 2, magkano ho ang inabot na pondo sa budget?
Oh, ma'am, I did not know that you will ask me that question. So hindi ko hawak, pero mag-google naman po natin yan kasi nasa batas po yan. No? There are laws that were passed by Congress that provided funds for the acquisition of assets for our armed forces to modernize it. to modern standards.
Sa NSC po ba, ano yung silip ninyo? Kasi equipment, armaments, ammunition are one thing. Pero yung cyber technology, yung equipment o yung apparatus na kailangan natin to fight cyber war. Kasi sa totoo lang, ang dami ho yatang DDoS attacks. Sabi nila, galing China. Sabi nila, yung mga parang pinaka-source ng mga hacks, phishing, galing China. Sa NSC po ba, iba pa yung West Philippine Sea, pero itong cyber attacks from China, malaki pang issue.
Yes, malaki pong issue yan. In fact, pagpasok po namin sa NSC, that's this year, no? Si Secretary Anyo assumed in January. February po kami yung team niyang pumasok. Isa po yan sa mga nakikita naming vulnerabilities of the country. That is why one of the first things na tinutukan po ng NSC at ang NICA was the vulnerability of our national grid because of the substantial investment of Chinese companies in the National Grid Corporation. So nagkaroon po yan ng mahabang diskusyon with the National Grid Corporation, and we have people who are monitoring the National Grid para masiguro nga po na just in case things go sideways, our power supply is not affected. So yan po yung, I would admit, one of our vulnerabilities that we as a nation, especially the DICT plus the other agencies of government involved, should work together para masiguro po natin yung security, yung ating cyber security.
Okay.
In the face of these attacks from other countries.
Okay. Ang sabi nila, ang cybersecurity actually involves, most importantly, yung infra. Sabi nyo, yung national grid, may investment ang China, may Chinese senior personnel sa loob ng national grid dahil sila yung mayroong expertise magpatakbo ng kumpanya. Meron din tayong vulnerability ba sa ibang infra? Water, power. Well, power yung national grid. Pero yun hong iba pang telecom system, hindi ho ba pwedeng parang yun din ang possible point of attack kung sakaling magkakiskisan tayo with China?
Yes, tama po kayo. Kaya nga po naglabas ang ating National Security Council ng tinatawag na National Security Policy. The President issued an executive order in August of this year, and we will launch this hopefully before the end of the month, yung National Security Policy. In this policy, we listed down the national security interests. And one of the national security interests is really cyber. Kasi nga, our way of life will be definitely affected. Isipin mo na lang, for example, kung yung payment system sa GCash ay makompromise, or yung RFID system sa SLEX, NLEX ay makompromise. So, all of this will affect our lives, my life, your life. So we really need to secure our cyber domain.
Okay. So sa totoo lang, para din pata sa China lang ho ba posibleng merong problema tayo kung cybersecurity pag-uusapan? Kasi hackers are everywhere, or parang mga cyber attack teams are everywhere. Ano pa ho yung pinaka-source ng potential threat? Cybersecurity natin.
Well, ang cyber po kasi can come from anywhere. Pwede pong the cyber attack can be from a small town in Germany or elsewhere, tapos nandun yung mga hackers. And they can do harm, no? Ang problema lang kasi, no, with some countries is that it's state sanctioned. Okay? Kaya that is a problem if it's a problem whether it's state sanctioned or not, but it's more of a problem in my opinion if it is state sanctioned. Kasi ibig sabihin the apparatus of government are working together to affect the stability of a certain society.
What you're implying is kung ang China is state-run socialist state, parang yun ang possibility kung sakaling state policy ang mag-attack cyber.
If China, and I'm not saying as a official of the National Security Council, I would be responsible if I would accuse China of doing so. No, if China is responsible for some of these attacks, that would be a national security threat. Okay.
Now the US is quite busy sa Gaza, Israel-Hamas war. The US is also quite engaged sa Ukraine hanggang ngayon. At sa Taiwan, yung kiskisa ng China with Taiwan, parang will we actually matter that much kung sakaling ganoon kagulo ang mga concerns ng Estados Unidos ngayon, and there are elections coming up next year. So, paano sa tingin ninyo ang mangyayari?
Well, ma'am, the message coming from the United States the assurance coming from them has not been stronger in my long experience in government, no?
Mhm.
Kasi I have been also observing this, no? Before dili-dali sila about the Mutual Defense Treaty, no? Pero recently, as a result of the president's visit to Washington, when the joint protocols were signed, no, the updated guidelines on the defense cooperation with the Philippines, naging napakaliwanag doon yung implementation of the Mutual Defense Treaty. Even the coverage, kasi dati if I remember my political science, laging malaking issue yan if the South China Sea is part of the Pacific Ocean, no? Kasi ang wording ng Mutual Defense Treaty is a armed attack on a metropolitan area. Ganun yung wording eh. But the updated defense guidelines issued by both countries clearly stated that an armed attack on a public vessel no longer, no, very clear na that even a BFAR vessel would be covered by these new defense guidelines. And the South China Sea, as an appendage of the Pacific Ocean, is covered by the Mutual Defense Treaty. Now, as you said, the United States is busy in other parts of the world, but we have been assured, the National Security Council has been assured by the U.S. military establishment and even by the State Department that their commitment to the Philippines is, as they mentioned, ironclad, no, and that they have enough assets in the Indo-PACOM area in case things go sideways in the West Philippine Sea.
Kung sakaling talagang magkagirian. Ngayon, Yusek Jonathan, mukhang stronger, sabi ninyo, ano po, yung US commitment sa Pilipinas, pero sa defense and security front. But it used to be that the US was quite critical of yung corruption and human rights violations sa Pilipinas. Has the US softened down on criticism niya ng Pilipinas? What about the case sa International Criminal Court? Parang tipong hindi alam ng gobyerno kung parot parito. Ano ba tingin ng National Security Council doon? Pagdating ng human rights at good governance o corruption issues, tayo ba'y vulnerable vis-a-vis our partners, hindi lang US kundi EU?
Well, that's a good question, ma'am, no? But these issues kasi are not raised to us when we speak with our foreign counterparts, no? They don't raise human rights issues with us. They don't raise corruption issues. When they come to the National Security Council, which is very often, what we talk about is our common interests in the West Philippine Sea, our need for interoperability. We're talking about a reciprocal access agreement, for example, with Japan, a trilateral dialogue among the three countries. Doon po kami nakatutok. So maybe the National Security Council is not the right agency to address that question.
Okay. Not the right agency, but it used to be that these issues were actually the obstacles to getting more funding or more aid or more cooperation from Western allies natin, di po ba?
Maybe in the past, no? But I have not felt that this time.
Okay. So, Yusek Jonathan, ano yung pwedeng asahan ng mga tao? Lalo na yung mga affected parties. Ano po? Yung ating mga mangingisda doon sa lugar at yung ating pong mga communities na posibleng maambunan ng gulo kung sakali kung magkiskisan pa further. Ano yung pwedeng makikita scenario between now and sabihin nyo na in the next 2 years, ito ba yung magtutuloy-tuloy na diplomatic bangayan lang or posibleng maging defense posturing on both sides?
When we met with the Senate, no, because we have to defend our budget in the Senate expressed its wholehearted support to what the National Security Council and our attached agency, the National Intelligence Coordinating Agency, is doing. In fact, Senate President Zubiri said, you're doing a good job, keep on doing the good job, and that we will provide as much as we can the necessary resources for you to assert our claim in the West Philippine Sea. So, given that assurance from the Senate, no, pag-ipaigtingin po ng National Security Council ang aming pagbabantay sa ating interes, no. Kung matuloy man yung ipinangako nilang pondo para sa Ayungin Shoal, then we can utilize that to further improve our outpost in the West in Ayungin Shoal, no. Yung suporta ng Senado para makabili pa ng karagdagang barko ang ating Coast Guard para makapantay-pantay naman tayo sa level ng Chinese Coast Guard. That will be a very big help to us. Now, insofar as our fishermen is concerned, the additional funding coming from the Senate will make sure na yung BFAR ay makapaglayag up and down the West Philippine Sea, makapagbigay ng subsidiya sa fuel, makapagbigay ng pagkain sa ating mga fishermen, because that is the only way we will implement the arbitral ruling. No one will implement it for us. Wala naman pong international police, no? The US should not implement it for us. We should implement it ourselves. So, yun po ang gagawin namin in support of what has been discussed.
Quick question, you're not going to file another suit sa United Nations or sa arbitral rulings bodies ng United Nations?
Well, pinag-usapan na po namin ng when we also briefed the Senate in a separate opportunity around 2 months ago, na pinaliwanag namin that the United Nations General Assembly may not be the proper forum because by doing so, we are simply relitigating what we have already won. That's number one. And number two, even if we win, which is quite improbable in the General Assembly, whatever resolution comes from that is non-binding anyway. So it does not in any way support our claim. At natutuwa naman po kami na yung mga senador took our position when we briefed them. In so far as filing another case in other tribunals for other things, yun po ang pinag-aaralan na ngayon ng team from the Office of the Solicitor General and the Department of Justice. Kung meron ba tayong pwedeng ikaso for the environmental degradation in several of our shoals, no? Na nakita natin nagkaroon ng swarming, ang tagal-tagal nandun yung mga Chinese maritime militia vessels, pag alis nila, sira-sira na. So, yan yung pinag-aaralan po ngayon. We are preparing all the documentation, and at the end of the day, it will be up to the President to decide if we need to file another case.
Okay. At least kayo ay parang cool and kalmado, no, sa pagpapaliwanag. Pero kahit man may suporta ang Kongreso sa ginagawa ninyo, tila meron ding mga hecklers at saka mga parang tipong mga sugod mga kapatid, ano, na mga senador tayo. Ano po masasabi nyo para kumalma naman tong mga senador nating to?
Ay, wala pa ako masasabi sa mga senador. Dahil we must accord respect for a co-equal branch of government, no, as a courtesy to them. Wala na po kaming natanggap kundi suporta. Ang meron po siguro akong issue is yung mga pro-China na hindi ako tinitigilan, no.
Natotroll kayo, no, mga pro-China?
Opo, natotroll ako. In fact, people have been telling me magmula nung undas hanggang ngayon, hindi sila tumitigil. Hindi ko na lang po pinapansin. No?
Ano sinasabi?
Well, the usual Chinese narrative that number one, nagpapagamit ang National Security Council sa Estados Unidos. Number two, China is a better friend than the United States because China gave us the vaccines, blah, blah, blah. Meron po silang very clear narrative na gawa sa China na inuulit-ulit nila sa ating domestic audience. And I sounded that alarm when the water cannon incident happened because I was worried that some of our countrymen baka makumbinsi doon sa pinagsasasabi. No, ma'am, just to be perfectly clear, I respect the right to freedom of speech because they claimed na meron daw akong my statements daw had a chilling effect on them, no? I have no issue about you saying that you love Xi Jinping or you love China or whatever. Wala pa akong problema dyan. My concern with them is their distribution of fake news. They are clearly spreading disinformation and misinformation about what's happening in the West Philippines. Kaya tuwang-tuwa po kami nung sumakay si Chino Gascon, si Joseph Morong ng GMA kasi sila na mismo nagsasabi sa taong bayan na hindi umatras ang BRP Cabra sa Chinese Maritime Militia at hindi humarang ang Unay sa May sa napakadambuhalang Coast Guard. At itong mga pro-China ito would like the Filipino people to believe na tayo yun ang aaway when we do our RORE mission. So, I understand it's part of being in public service, but yan lang po ang may issue ako. I have no issue with the senators.
Alright. Know your facts muna, no po. So hindi lang pala sa dagat, pati sa cyberspace may bangayan. On that note, kami po ay nagpapasalamat Undersecretary Assistant Director General ng National Security Council, Mr. Jonathan Malaya. Keep safe po, sir, at maraming salamat.
Maraming din salamat at mabuhay po kayo.